All right, so today we're diving into something that you might not think about every day.
Uh-huh.
Gutters.
Yeah.
Not exactly the most glamorous topic, right?
Right.
But trust me, this deep dive is going to change the way that you think about those things that are just hanging off of your roof.
Yeah.
We've got this really interesting document here. It's all about professional gutter cleaning.
Okay.
And let me tell you, it is absolutely packed with insights that could honestly save you tons of money and headaches
I bet.
down the line.
Yeah, most people just don't realize how important their gutters are for protecting their homes.
Yeah, so I think we should probably start there.
Okay.
Break it down for us. Why are gutters so important?
Well, think of your gutters as like the first line of defense against water damage.
Okay.
So when they're working properly, they channel rainwater away from your home's foundation, siding,
Yeah.
landscaping, preventing all sorts of problems that end up being really costly.
And what kind of problems are we talking about here? Give us some specifics.
Like soil erosion, foundation cracks,
Hmm?
even basement flooding.
Oh, wow.
There have actually been studies that have shown that gutters that haven't been taken care of
Yeah.
are one of the leading causes of basement water damage.
Really?
And those repairs can easily cost you thousands of dollars.
I had no idea it was that serious.
Yeah.
So it's not just about, keeping things nice and tidy. It's really about protecting your biggest investment,
Exactly.
your home.
And it's not just those problems either.
Oh, there's more.
When your gutters get clogged with, leaves, twigs, other debris,
Yeah.
they can't do their job.
Right.
This can lead to a bunch more issues like roof damage,
Oh, no.
wood rot,
Okay.
and even pest infestations.
Pest infestations.
Oh, yeah.
That's creepy.
It can get really nasty.
Okay.
Standing water in clogged gutters is like the perfect place for mosquitoes to breed.
Uh,
Rodents, all sorts of other critters you don't want around.
I can imagine.
All that moisture that gets trapped against your house?
Yeah.
That's how you get mold and mildew growth.
Right.
Which can not only damage the structure of your house, but also be really dangerous
Yeah.
for your health and your family's.
So you definitely painted a pretty vivid picture
Yeah.
and kind of scary
Okay,
of what can happen when gutters are neglected.
Right.
So, okay, how often should we be cleaning these things
Well,
to avoid all of this trouble?
the general rule is at least twice a year,
Okay.
ideally in the spring and fall.
Mm.
That should help to remove most of the leaves, pollen, all that debris that builds up.
Okay.
But there are some things that might mean you need to clean more often.
Okay. Like what?
Well, if you have a lot of trees around your property, especially ones that shed a lot of leaves or needles, you might need to clean 3
Wow.
or even 4 times a year.
Okay.
And if you live somewhere that gets a lot of storms or heavy rain,
Yeah.
that can also make things build up faster.
Makes sense.
Yeah. Our source specifically mentions Northeast Ohio.
Okay.
They recommend cleaning in late spring, after all that pollen and seed debris falls.
Mm-hmm.
And again, in late fall, after the leaves have fallen,
Yeah.
but before it starts to get cold.
Before
Yeah.
winter.
Right.
So it's not just a set it and forget it type of thing.
Yeah, you need to really be aware of your surroundings
Yeah.
and adjust your cleaning schedule accordingly.
Okay. So we know clogged gutters are bad news and regular cleaning is super important.
Right.
But now I'm kind of curious about the professional side of things.
Okay.
Why even consider hiring someone to do it
Yeah.
when you could just grab a ladder and do it yourself?
That's a really good question, and it's one we get a lot.
I bet.
While DIY might sound good,
Yeah.
there are some good reasons why it's safer and more effective to hire a professional.
All right, I'm intrigued. Break it down for us.
Okay.
What makes professional cleaning so much better than doing it yourself?
Well, first of all, safety is a big concern.
Yeah.
Gutter cleaning involves working pretty high up,
Uh-huh.
balancing on ladders, moving around on slippery surfaces.
Yeah. I can see that going wrong.
Yeah. Professionals have the training and the equipment and the experience to do the job safely.
It's not worth risking a broken bone just to save a couple of bucks.
Exactly.
Right.
And besides safety, there's also the issue of thoroughness.
Okay.
Professionals don't just scoop out the obvious stuff.
Mm-hmm.
They have special tools and techniques to make sure that your whole gutter system is clean.
So it's more than just scooping out leaves.
Right.
It's like a whole
It's a whole process.
cleaning process
Yeah.
for the whole system.
Exactly.
Got it.
And maybe even more importantly, professionals have a trained eye.
Okay.
They can spot damage or wear and tear that a homeowner might miss.
Like what kind of stuff?
Like cracks or leaks,
Oh, okay.
loose fasteners, or even signs of wood rot.
I wouldn't know what to look for.
Right. Well, catching these things early can prevent much bigger problems
Yeah.
down the line.
And save you a lot of money.
Exactly. It's like getting a free inspection along with your cleaning.
That's a good point.
Like going to the doctor for a checkup.
Right.
It's always better to catch things early.
Before they become big problems.
Exactly.
I like that analogy.
Yeah.
That makes a lot of sense. Okay. I'm starting to get why professional gutter cleaning is worth it.
Good.
But tell me more about those tools and techniques you mentioned.
Okay.
What are we talking about here?
One of the most common tools is a gutter vacuum.
Okay.
It's this powerful device that sucks up all the debris
Wow.
without having to scoop or scrape anything.
So no more climbing up and down a ladder with a
Right.
bucket full of soggy leaves.
Exactly.
Right, that sounds good to me.
Yeah. And another tool that's becoming more popular is the high-pressure water jet.
Oh, yeah, you mentioned that before.
Yeah.
Remind me how that works.
It uses a really strong stream of water to blast away the gunk,
So it's like a power washer
pretty much.
for your gutters.
Uh-huh. It's really good for removing that stuff that's been stuck there for a while,
Okay.
like sap or bird droppings.
So like a deep clean
Yes.
for your gutters.
Much more thorough than you could do with just a hose.
Makes sense.
Yeah.
I'm starting to feel a little inadequate with my rusty old garden trowel.
Don't worry, most homeowners don't have those fancy tools.
Yeah, true.
That's part of what you're paying for.
Yeah,
The expertise and the right tools for the job.
makes sense.
Yeah.
Okay, and speaking of professionals, I have to ask about something.
What's that?
Drones.
Oh, yeah.
You mentioned earlier that some companies are using drones to inspect gutters.
Right.
Is that just a gimmick, or is there actually some value in that?
Drone technology is definitely changing the gutter cleaning industry.
Okay.
It's not just for show.
Right.
Drones with high-resolution cameras can give a really good aerial view
Yeah.
of your gutters so they can spot problems
Oh, wow.
without even having to climb up a ladder.
So no more risky climbs or
Right.
wobbly ladders just to take a look?
Exactly. It's much safer and more efficient.
Mm-hmm.
Plus, they can take really good pictures and videos that can be used later on.
So it's not just about convenience, it's also about gathering information that can be used to prevent problems later.
Exactly.
Wow, that's incredible. It seems like the future of gutter cleaning is literally taking off.
Yeah.
But let's come back down to earth for a second and talk
Okay.
about something a little more practical.
Okay.
I know a lot of people might be hesitant to hire a professional
Right?
because they think it's going to be really expensive.
Mm-hmm.
So what can you tell us about how much professional gutter cleaning actually costs?
Well, it really depends on a bunch of things.
Okay.
Like how big and complex your gutter system is, how many stories your house has,
Oh.
how easy it is to get to your gutters.
Right.
Even where you live can make a difference.
There's no one-size-fits-all answer.
Not really, but to give you an idea,
Yeah.
a basic gutter cleaning for a single-story home with pretty straightforward gutters might cost you somewhere between $100 and $150.
Okay. That's not as bad as I thought.
Right.
But I imagine bigger houses or ones with fancier gutters or that need more work done
Yeah.
could cost more.
Oh, yeah. They could cost $300 or more.
Okay.
It's always a good idea to get a few different quotes from companies in your area
Yeah.
so you can compare prices and services.
Makes sense. And I'm guessing there are probably ways to save money,
Oh, yeah, definitely.
like bundling services or something.
Like scheduling cleanings during the off-season
Okay.
or bundling with other services like window cleaning or pressure washing.
Right.
A lot of companies offer discounts for that.
So it's about being a smart consumer
Exactly.
and doing your research.
Uh-huh. Don't be afraid to ask questions
Yeah.
and compare different options.
Wow.
Remember, the cheapest option isn't always the best.
Especially when it comes to your home.
Exactly.
Okay, great advice. So we've covered a lot of ground here.
We've
talked about why gutter cleaning is important,
Mm-hmm.
the benefits of hiring a pro,
Right.
the really cool tools and techniques they use,
Yeah.
even how much it costs.
Mhm.
But is there one key takeaway
I think so.
that you want our listeners to remember from all of this?
I think the most important thing to remember is that gutters are a really important part of protecting your home.
Okay.
And not taking care of them
Right.
can lead to a lot of problems that cost a lot of money
Yeah.
and are really annoying to deal with. Regular cleaning and maintenance, whether you do it yourself or hire someone,
Right.
is an investment in your home.
Yeah.
And it helps to keep its value up.
So don't underestimate those little gutters.
No.
They might not be the prettiest part of your house,
Right.
but they're doing a lot of work behind the scenes
They are.
to keep things safe and dry and pest-free.
Exactly.
Now, you know all about professional gutter cleaning,
Uh-huh.
so you can make good decisions about how to take care of your home,
Right.
but we're not done yet. Stay tuned, because when we come back, We'll dive even deeper into the world of professional gutter cleaning.
Okay.
We'll explore the cleaning process in more detail,
Sounds good.
talk about the different types of gutter guards and sealants,
Like,
and give you some tips on choosing the right professional for your needs.
looking forward to it.
Don't miss it.
Okay.
Welcome back to our deep dive into the world of professional gutter cleaning. We've already talked about why it's so important to clean your gutters regularly
Right.
and the benefits of hiring a pro.
Mm-hmm.
But now let's actually get into the nitty-gritty,
Okay.
the cleaning process itself.
Yeah.
What exactly happens when those professionals show up at your door ready to tackle your gutters?
Well, a good gutter cleaning company will have a really systematic and thorough process.
Okay, so walk us through it.
Okay.
What are the steps involved in a professional gutter cleaning service?
So the first step is a really thorough inspection.
Okay.
The technician will carefully check out your gutters, looking for any obvious damage or debris buildup or any areas that might need some extra attention.
So they're using that trained eye we talked about before.
Right. They'll be able to spot things that a normal homeowner would probably miss.
Like what kind of things?
Well, they'll be looking for anything that looks out of place,
Okay.
anything that might be a problem or a weak spot in the system.
Mm-hmm.
So things like sagging gutters, loose fasteners, cracks, rust spots, any signs of water damage.
Got it.
So they're not just looking at the debris, they're
Uh-huh.
really checking the overall health of the gutters.
Makes sense. So once they've done the inspection, what's next?
Then it's time to get to work and actually clean out all that gunk.
Okay, so remind us again, what kind of tools are they using for this?
Well, as we talked about earlier, gutter vacuums are becoming really popular.
Yeah.
They can remove debris from your gutters really quickly and efficiently
Oh.
without all the scooping and scraping.
It's like a giant super-powered vacuum cleaner,
Yeah.
specifically for gutters.
Exactly. They work great for dry leaves, twigs, and other lightweight stuff.
Okay.
But for tougher clogs, professionals might also use high-pressure water jets.
Oh, yeah, you mentioned that before.
Right.
How do those work again?
So high-pressure water jets use a really strong stream of water
Yeah.
to blast away all that debris.
It's kind of like a power washer,
Exactly.
but for your gutters.
They're really good at getting rid of stuff that's really caked on there,
Okay.
especially in spots where water tends to pool
Right,
or where there's sap or bird dropping.
So it's like a deep clean,
Pretty much.
getting rid of all that grime that can cause blockages.
Exactly. It's
Yeah.
much more thorough than anything you could do yourself.
Yeah. And I imagine these tools also help to keep things a little less messy.
Oh, definitely.
No more hauling buckets of soggy leaves down a ladder.
No more buckets.
And speaking of ladders,
Yeah.
a lot of professionals will use special ladder systems
Right.
that are safer and more stable.
Exactly. They're designed to spread the weight out evenly and give the technicians a really secure platform to work from.
So it's not just any old ladder from the garage.
Right.
These are specialized pieces of equipment.
Yep. Safety is a top priority in this industry.
Makes sense.
Good companies will also have their technicians wear harnesses and other safety gear when they're working up high.
To minimize the risk of accidents.
Exactly.
Okay, so they've taken care of the gutters themselves, but what about the downspouts?
Good question.
Those seem like they could get clogged pretty easily, too.
They definitely can, and downspouts are a super important part of the whole system. They
Yeah.
need just as much attention as the gutters.
So what do they do for those?
Professionals have a few different ways to make sure downspouts are clear.
Okay.
They might use plumber snakes or high-pressure air blowers
Oh, wow.
to get rid of any blockages.
So they've got the right tool for every job,
Yep, just like a well-equipped toolbox.
but for your gutters.
Right.
So once they've done all the cleaning, what happens then?
Well, a good professional will always do a final check.
Okay.
They'll walk around your house and make sure everything is flowing properly
Yeah.
and that there aren't any leaks or other problems.
So it's not just about cleaning.
Right.
It's about making sure the whole system is working the way it should.
Exactly. They might even run some water through the system.
Really?
Yeah, to simulate rain and make sure everything's draining properly.
That's pretty thorough.
It's a comprehensive approach.
And what about those gutter guards we keep hearing about?
Oh, yeah.
Do professionals install those too?
They do. A lot of companies offer installation services.
Okay.
Gutter guards are a great way to cut down on how often you need to clean your gutters
Yeah.
and to prevent clogs.
Okay, so tell us more about those different types of gutter guards.
Sure. One of the most common types is the mesh gutter guard.
Okay.
It's basically a fine mesh screen that covers the gutter opening, so water can still get through,
Yeah.
but leaves, twigs, and other big stuff can't. Mesh guards are pretty cheap and they work pretty well,
Right.
but they can sometimes get clogged with smaller stuff like pine needles or seed pods.
So not totally foolproof, but they can definitely help.
Right.
What are some of the other options?
Another popular type is the surface tension guard.
Okay.
This one has a curved design
Okay.
that uses surface tension to direct water into the gutter while pushing debris off the edge.
Interesting.
They're usually more expensive than mesh guards,
Yeah.
but they tend to be better at preventing clogs,
Okay.
especially from smaller stuff.
So I guess the best type of gutter guard for you depends on what kind of trees you have
Exactly.
and how much debris they drop.
And there are other things to think about, too.
Yeah.
Like how steep your roof is,
Okay.
how big your gutters are, and your budget.
Right. A professional can help you figure out what's best for your situation.
Yep. They can assess your needs and recommend the right type of guard.
That makes sense. So it's not just a one-size-fits-all solution.
Definitely not.
You need to really think about your own specific needs
Uh-huh.
and get some expert advice.
And in addition to gutter guards,
Yeah.
professionals might suggest using a sealant on your gutters.
What does that do?
A sealant is like a protective coating
Okay.
that helps to prevent leaks and makes your gutters last longer.
Interesting.
It can also help to keep debris from sticking to the gutters.
Oh, so it makes future cleanings easier.
Exactly. It's like giving your gutters a shield of armor
I like that.
against the weather and all that debris.
So sealant is a good investment.
It is. It can really help protect your gutters and keep them working well for a long time.
Okay, so we've talked about the inspection process,
Mm-hmm.
the different cleaning tools and techniques,
Right.
and even the options for gutter guards and sealants.
Yeah.
It seems like there's a lot more to professional gutter cleaning than most people realize.
There definitely is. It's a specialized service that requires knowledge, experience, and the right equipment.
We get the job done right.
And safely.
But now I'm kind of curious about the homeowner's role in all of this.
Okay.
What can homeowners do to prepare for a professional gutter cleaning service?
There are a few simple things that can make the process smoother.
Okay, give us some tips.
The first thing is to clear any obstacles around your house
Okay.
that might be in the way of the gutters.
Okay, so give them a clear path to work.
Exactly. And it's also a good idea to trim back any branches or bushes
Right.
that are hanging over the gutters.
That makes sense.
That makes it easier for them to get to the gutters. And it also helps to prevent debris from building up in the future.
Right. Those overhanging branches can be a real problem
It can.
when it comes to clogged gutters.
And if you have pets,
Yeah.
it's best to keep them inside during the cleaning.
Oh, good point.
The noise and all the activity can stress them out.
Right.
And it's safer for the technicians if they don't have to worry about pets getting in the way.
So basically, create a safe and clutter-free work zone.
Exactly.
Anything else?
It's always good to let the technicians know about any specific concerns you have
That's
or
right.
anything special you want them to be careful of.
Before they start working.
Right, like if you have delicate landscaping or outdoor features,
Good point.
just point those things out.
So open communication is really important.
It is the more information you give them,
Yeah,
the better they'll be able to meet your needs and make sure you're happy with the service.
makes sense.
Good communication is key to any good relationship.
Exactly. Okay, so we've officially demystified the professional gutter cleaning process.
I think we have.
We've talked about all the steps involved, the tools and techniques they use, and even how homeowners can prepare.
Yep.
But what's the one thing you want our listeners to remember about the cleaning process?
I think the main takeaway is that professional gutter cleaning is a lot more than just scooping out leaves.
Yep.
It's a really systematic and thorough process
Yeah.
that involves a detailed inspection, special tools and techniques, and a real commitment to safety and efficiency.
So it's not something to take lightly.
Right.
It takes expertise and the right approach
Mm-hmm.
to make sure your gutters are cleaned properly and working the way they should.
And by understanding the process, homeowners can choose the right company and have a better experience overall.
Well said. Okay, so we've covered a lot in this part,
We have.
but stay tuned for the final part of our deep dive,
Okay.
where we'll talk about how to choose the right gutter cleaning professional for you,
Sounds good.
how to navigate quotes and contracts,
Right?
and the importance of insurance and licensing.
I'll be here.
Don't miss it.
Okay.
All right, we're back for the final part of our deep dive into professional gutter cleaning.
Okay.
We've talked about why it's important, how it works,
Uh-huh.
and even the tools of the trade.
Right.
But now, the big question,
Yeah.
how do you actually choose the right company?
It's a good question.
There are so many options out there.
It can definitely feel overwhelming.
So how do we navigate all of that and make a good decision?
Well, there are a few key things to keep in mind.
Okay, let's hear it. What should we be looking for?
The most important things are experience and reputation.
Okay.
Look for companies that have been around for a while
Mm.
and have a good track record.
So do your research.
Right.
Check their history.
Exactly. See what kind of reputation they've built.
What about online reviews? Are those helpful?
Oh, yeah. Online reviews and testimonials can be super helpful.
Okay.
Sites like Yelp, Angie's List, Google Reviews,
Mm-hmm.
those can give you a good idea of what other customers have experienced.
So don't just rely on what the company says about themselves.
Right. Get a balanced perspective.
And what about word of mouth?
Oh, yeah. Word of mouth is huge.
Like referrals from friends and family?
Exactly. Personal recommendations are really valuable.
Makes sense.
And you can always ask the company for references directly.
Oh, that's a good point.
A good company will be happy to give you contact info for past clients.
So you can hear about their experience firsthand.
Yep.
Okay, so beyond reputation, what about more practical stuff?
Like what?
Like licensing and insurance.
Those are super important.
Okay.
Licensing shows that the company meets all the requirements to operate in your area,
Mm-hmm.
and insurance protects you and the workers if anything goes wrong.
Right, because I don't want to be liable if someone gets hurt.
Exactly. It's about peace of
But
mind.
make sure they're properly insured.
Uh-huh. Don't be afraid to ask for proof of insurance.
Yeah, that's a good tip.
Any legitimate company will be happy to show it to you.
Okay, so we've checked experience, reputation, licensing, insurance. What else?
Always get a written estimate before any work starts.
Okay.
It should clearly lay out what they're going to do, how much it will cost,
Mm-hmm.
and any guarantees or warranties they offer.
So no surprises when the bill comes.
Right. Transparency is key.
And it lets you compare different companies easily.
Exactly. Speaking of which, don't be afraid to shop around and get multiple quotes.
Good point.
That way you can compare prices, services,
Mm-hmm.
and even just get a feel for different companies.
So it's like hiring a contractor for any other home improvement project.
Pretty much you get multiple bids, compare carefully,
Yeah.
and trust your gut.
And what about communication? Is that important?
Communication is super important.
Yeah.
Choose a company that's responsive,
Mm.
answers your questions clearly,
Yeah.
and keeps you in the loop.
It's like any good relationship.
Exactly. You want to feel comfortable asking questions and raising any concerns.
So we're looking for experience, reputation, licensing, insurance, written estimates, clear communication, anything else.
One more thing.
Okay.
Think about the company's environmental practices.
That's a good point.
Do they use eco-friendly cleaning products? Do they dispose of the debris responsibly?
Right. It's about finding a company that aligns with your values.
Exactly. And remember, the cheapest option isn't always the best.
Right. Sometimes it's worth spending a little extra
Yeah,
for quality and peace of mind.
Yep.
Okay, so we've covered a lot of ground here
we have.
about how to choose the right gutter cleaning professional. Any final words of wisdom before we wrap up this deep dive?
Don't neglect your gutters.
Oh,
Cleaning and maintaining them is so important for protecting your home
yeah.
and keeping its value up.
And now that you know more about professional gutter cleaning,
Right.
you can make smart choices
Uh-huh.
and find a company you trust.
Exactly.
When we started this deep dive talking about gutters,
We did.
which maybe doesn't sound that exciting,
Right.
but we've learned that there's a lot more to it
There
that
is.
meets the eye.
It's a whole world of expertise
Yeah.
and specialized tools.
And a real dedication to protecting homes.
Absolutely.
It's a good reminder that even the things we might not think about much,
Uh-huh.
like gutters,
Right.
can be really interesting
They can.
and important.
And surprisingly complex.
Exactly. So the next time you see leaves piling up in your gutters,
Yeah.
don't just groan. Take it as an opportunity to learn something new,
Uh-huh.
to connect with some skilled professionals,
Mm.
and to make good choices to protect your home.
And maybe even ask about those drones.
Always a good idea.
Yeah.
Until next time, stay curious, stay informed, and keep those gutters flowing.